To be a successful entrepreneur, you need to see both the big picture of the business landscape and the minute details of the business you're running. Take Rei Wang, an investor at First Round Capital who left to start her own venture, The Grand. She's been on both sides of the table as an investor working with hundreds of companies and as a startup founder running her own venture. It's an amazing perspective, and today we're going to get to hear 5 things that Rei learned about what it takes to make it as an entrepreneur.
One of the questions that we used to ask founders when they would come in and share their business with us in a pitch is, what is the biggest vision for what you're working on look like? In 10 years, 15 years, what could this be? And I think that's a really good question to see how people think about systems, because usually it's beyond just the product itself or the initial market that they're starting. And it's important, I think, for entrepreneurs to both be able to have a very grand vision of what their company could be, as well as a very specific entry point into the market. So I do think great entrepreneurs need to have the ability to both have that 10,000-foot view and define the vision and think about the system more holistically, as well as understanding the specificity of what they're working on and how to get there. One of my strong beliefs is really building in partnership with your community. So we invite our community to participate in the product development process. Of course, at the beginning, we tend to start with interviews and we really understand the pain points of our members as well as the coaches. Then with the product design and engineering team, we'll usually take a lot of that, start to concept what we might build, create a prototype, and then share it back with our community to try it and give their feedback. And then from there, iterate and then ship it to our community to use overall. So that's a little bit of our process, but it all is based on understanding the true needs of our community first in order to actually be able to build an effective product. One mistake that I made is being stuck in indecision for too long. Especially when you're starting with more of an ambiguous problem, it can be really hard to know, what do I test first, or what is the right decision to make here? And I can get into a rabbit hole where I talk myself in perpetuity into all of the pros and cons for each and the trade-offs. And then from there, it's been many weeks and I haven't actually built anything or worked with my team to develop anything. And I think now I realize time is arguably my most valuable resource. And instead of being stuck on figuring out which one is the right decision, just to trust my gut and pick one and make an educated guess and hypothesis, and then actually create a concept or a prototype and test it. Give it to 100 users, give it to some of my community members and observe how they actually use it. And that will tell me way more about whether or not this is the right direction to pursue than being stuck in my own head and trying to debate that.
Enjoying this video? Give it a like. That'll help us bring you more videos like this.
At the early stage, what's different about the market now versus maybe the market a year or two ago is it's not just about having that big vision and an initial concept. It's also making sure that you have strong business fundamentals, right? A year ago, you could probably launch something and raise money if you had initial prototype or a product out, a couple hundred or a couple thousand free users with a lot of traction and growth. I think that's still important now, but also showing that there's a willingness to pay and that you actually have a business model that makes sense is going to make you more investable than someone who hasn't thought about the business side. What we realized pretty quickly is the best ways to support entrepreneurs was not actually to tell them what to do or teach them through off-the-shelf training or traditional workshops, but it was actually to connect them with each other and provide a small group environment for them to talk about the real challenges that they were facing. That's what is called group coaching. And that was the most effective ways for the founders at First Round at Dorm Room Fund to be able to navigate their journeys as founders and to grow their companies. So We started bringing together these groups of founders, creating the safe space for them to discuss their challenges, to share learnings with each other. And after about 4 years of doing that, how impactful it was for them, both professionally, but also really personally too, because so much of your journey of being a founder is tied up to your personal sense of identity and self worth. And that was a lot of the conversations that people were navigating.
Like every great entrepreneur, Rei is a lifelong learner. Her current venture, The Grand, provides coaching for people going through life transitions, and it's based around what she learned coaching entrepreneurs in startup working for First Round. Want to hear the rest of Rei's story? You can check out the full interview in this video. There's nothing better than getting smarter together. I'll see you in the next video.